Mhm.
How you doing?
Hello, Bob. Nice to see you. Thank you
Yes.
for saying yes and taking the time to be interviewed.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. I look forward to it.
Uh, uh,
Before we start, I wanted to quickly say that I have been enjoying listening to your book on Audible. I
Oh,
uh,
am a big Red Sox fan, so thanks for being the mental skills coach for the 2004, 2007, and 2013 championship teams.
you're welcome. I'm glad you're enjoying that. That's wonderful.
What is your current role with the Chicago Cubs and what are your main responsibilities?
My current role is senior advisor to mental skills. And what that means is I oversee the other three people working in mental skills with the team. One's at the major league level, and the other two are in the minor leagues. So with no baseball going on, there's not been a lot to do, but that's my job.
uh,
How long have you worked as a mental skills coach?
Well, I think I'm getting old, Samuel. I think since 2004, so that's 16 years.
How did you begin your career?
There's a long answer to that story. I'll try to make it short. Um, when I stopped playing in 1998, I went back and finished my undergrad degree in physical education. And then I worked with the Red Sox as a pitching consultant for 3 years. And what I did there was just talk to top prospects, pitchers, and mostly pitchers, um, just about my experiences in baseball. And um, so then one day, I met a guy that was in spring training. He was doing mental skills work for the Red Sox, and he told me that he was a sports psychologist. And I thought, well, if I could get a degree in sports psychology, um, combined with my professional playing experience, then maybe I could carve out my own little niche for mental skills. So that's what it took me 3 years, but that's what I did. I went to Boston University and I got my degree in 2004 and started working with the Red Sox in 2004, which was a good year. You liked that year.
How does your previous experience as a former MLB player help you in your current role as a mental skills coach?
Man, that's a great question. Not as much as you would think, um, because, well, the one thing it does help with is that people understand that I played, and they know that I've gone through the struggles of similar to what they're doing. Um, but it doesn't help. A lot of players are still pretty reserved. A lot of players are still pretty reserved to talk about mental skills, even though I know what they're kind of going through.
What
uh,
kind of challenges do you experience working with professional
uh,
athletes?
Um, the first one
uh,
is, well, the at the in the
uh,
minor leagues,
uh, uh,
in the
uh,
minor leagues, there are no issues.
uh,
The players are generally pretty open to talking about mental skills and learning. But at the major league level, they're a little bit more reluctant. So the challenges are to getting the players to understand that the mental part of the game is very important, and that they can do things that will help their performance if they have the time to do it.
What was your most memorable moment as a pitcher? What about as a mental skills coach?
Probably as a pitcher was winning two of them. Probably was winning my first major league game in 1986 as a member of the Yankees. Do you like the Yankees? I don't think so, right? And no, I didn't think so. And then the other one was I had a near perfect game. I talk about that in the book too. I don't know if you've listened to that part yet, but I talk about that. So those are the two that come from playing. I think from mental skills was the 2013 World Series with the Red Sox. That was a very fun group of players to work with.
What is your favorite part of your job?
I think the favorite part of my job is working with a player that understands that mental skills are important and that they want to work toward it. I think working with people that want to get better and then seeing the result of that is very rewarding, to help people perform better, knowing that you might have had a small part in helping them achieve that.
How has COVID-19 impacted your life?
Wow, into the heavy stuff, huh? Well, it's impacted my life because there's no baseball, and I think that without that, there hasn't been a whole lot to do because the players aren't playing. So from a work standpoint, it's affected it a lot. From a personal standpoint, it's been kind of nice because my daughter is home, my son is home, and they're 28 and 26, and it's nice to have them around because I know that they're gonna, they're not gonna be around forever. So due to that, they've been home, which has been really nice. So so I think those two things come to mind, but I do think baseball's going to start up again, hopefully, except for with no fans. And I think that it'll be different, but at least there'll be baseball.
How has COVID-19 impacted your work?
Yeah, it's prevented me from talking to players, from even traveling to see players. I would usually spend probably 10 to 15 days a month on the road going to see players and teams, and I haven't flown since I flew back from Arizona in March, so it's affected it a lot. And yeah, I can't say that I haven't missed flying because I've flown for 40 years around the country, but that's how it's affected it.
Are you working from home now due to COVID-19? Have you been able to keep in contact with the players during the shutdown?
I am working from home, Samuel. Yeah, I mean, because we have technology, the texting and the and Zoom, we do a lot of Zoom meetings just like this one, and texting. And I've been able to make a couple of, I think if you remember in the beginning of the book, I talked about making an imagery program for John Lester that he listened to. And I've been able to make 3 of those for the Cubs players so that they can, hopefully use that as a way to kind of keep their minds sharp while they're not playing. But it's been frustrating for sure.
Mm.
What did a typical workday look like for you before COVID-19? What does a typical workday look like now for you?
Yeah. Well, before COVID, I would travel. So the work day would be with the team, and it would be, going to the ballpark at, 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, and, being around the players, maybe talking to some players, watching batting practice, and then staying to watch the game and then go home. So they're kind of some long days. And so, that's pretty much every day. The thing about baseball, it's the same thing every day. So the work day kind of looks the same. Go to the park, check in with players, talk to the coaches, watch batting practice, watch the game type of thing. But before COVID, when I flew home, I really didn't talk to many players, but I watched the game on TV. So I had a little bit more free time. And then would watch the game and then follow up with players as needed type of thing. But since COVID, there's no baseball to watch, there's no trips to go on. And so there's not a whole lot to do. So I've been golfing, I've been doing some yard work, trying to finish a book that's been taken forever, not to write, but to read. So keeping busy.
If you were still playing baseball, how would you mental and physically prepare for baseball during this pandemic?
Wow. That's a really good question, because I think a lot of the players are struggling with that. I think it'd be very frustrating to not do what you love to do. But I think I would try to keep with my training, and also try to keep throwing as much as I could to keep my arm in shape. But the thing that you miss is, competition and real life game stuff. So that's why I think when baseball returns, it's going to be a long spring training, or should be a 3-week spring training, so that players can get back into shape.
In your book, 90% Mental, you talk about players dealing with fear and failure. Players develop a negative self-talk, which you call the little man.
Yeah.
Could you talk about some of the techniques you use to help players? And how some of those strategies could help people right now during this difficult time?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think, the little man is, we all have that little voice in our head. And I just did a session yesterday with some minor league guys, which I forgot to tell you that we have some minor league players that we do a Zoom with once a week. And I did a thing on the little man. So, that voice talks to us all the time, and it kind of creates our perception of the world and through our eyes. And if we think that this is never going to end, then we can feel pretty miserable. Or if we think, what if somebody we know gets it, and they're not healthy, or there's all kinds of what ifs that happen. And I think one of the things is really just trying to focus on today and what you can control, and know that the medical directors and people that are in charge are doing their work based on science. So I think, as it relates to COVID, you really have to not react emotionally, but think about things rationally, and really think about what you can control, and when you
Yeah.
talk to yourself about what you can control, I think it becomes a lot easier to handle the bigger
Yeah.
situations.
In your book, you talk about the mental, physical, and fundamental aspects of baseball. Which aspect, mental, physical, or fundamental, do you think is the hardest for players to maintain right now due to COVID-19?
I think it's got to be the physical, or because, well, I think all three actually, but I think to your question, which is a good one, I think physically, because a lot of the players don't have access to gyms and training facilities, so they really aren't doing the work that they could do. But fundamentally, they don't have the access to facilities to do their fundamental work. So the thing that they can work on most, ironically, is the mental part of it, because they have more time to do it. But I'm not sure that a lot of players are spending time working on aspects mentally. So I think probably physical is the most difficult one.
How do them how do them
How do you know me or my dad?
Oh, yeah, I see you have a Red Sox shirt on. That's cool. Well, I know you through your dad. Your dad worked at the newspaper, and then in the community, and all the things he's done with videos and documentaries, and so yeah, he's pretty good guy. And then I know you through him.
Thank Bob for that interview. It was great speaking with you. Could you send me a picture of you as the Cubs mental skills coach? I will use it when my interview gets published for the Monitor.
For sure. I'll see what I can find for a picture. I'll be happy to send it over to you, Samuel. And yeah, good work. Great questions. I hopefully the baseball will be back soon, right? So you look forward to watching some baseball?
Yeah.
I have to ask you, who's your favorite player?
Benintendi?
Benintendi, huh? Yeah, he's a good kid too. He's a really good guy. How come it wasn't me?
I got a tattoo of the Red Sox B on my left arm.
No
It took
way.
about 2 hours and it didn't hurt.
Good for you. That's awesome. You're a true fan. Oh my goodness, look at that. Wow. And it didn't hurt, huh? That's cool. Oh, JB Bradley. Oh, Jackie Bradley. He's a great kid. Oh my goodness, look at you. Too bad you're not happy there. Oh, that's I know Xander's a good kid. Oh. Brian Johnson. You showed everyone your tattoo, huh? Oh, Chris Sale. Jeez, I'm Crow. You're meeting all the big shots. Wow. What else do you see there? JD. Now, who's that? Wow, you guys look like you had fun down there. Oh my goodness. Christian Vasquez. He's got tattoos too. He's got a lot of tattoos. Oh my God, it looked like a great trip. Wow, that was just this spring. That's so cool. Louis Tion, holy macaroni. Wow. Oh, he's a great pitcher. I always tell him he can't speak English, but he's a great pitcher. Thanks for sharing those. That's really cool.
I will let you know when the interview gets published. Thanks again.
Okay. I'll get you a picture as soon as I can, Samuel. You take care of yourself.
Yeah.
See ya.